The girl, let her go. Shut up, come closer and I kill her. Sorry, but you're not going to get the chance. I'm reading through the file of an old court case. It was the first case of my longtime mentor, Mia Fey. Oh. Terry Falls, kidnapping and murder, sentenced to death. After escaping, Falls met with and then murdered Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne. Recaptured on Eagle Mountain 8 hours later. Her very first client was a death row inmate who'd recently broken out of prison. That was a whole year before Mia and I ever met. Mia Fey's first trial 6 years earlier. We're going back in time again. I'm so nervous. I feel like I'm going to die. I never should have accepted this case. Good morning. You're so jumpy here.
I didn't do nothing. I swear, I didn't kill nobody.
Terry Falls, my first client. Sentenced to death 5 years ago and now a prison escapee. Just relax, Mia. Make some small talk and try to relax him. So why'd you escape anyway? I'm sorry.
I didn't do nothing. I didn't kill nobody. I never lie. I didn't escape from nowhere.
But Mr. Falls, the police just recaptured you 2 days ago.
Sorry. I told a little lie.
Oh boy.
But anyway, I didn't do it. I never killed nobody.
Sorry for asking, but you're on death row, right? I'm really sorry.
They sentenced me to die 5 years ago. I was tricked, to tell you. That woman lied in her testimony. That's why I got the death penalty. I swear it, I didn't kill her. I could never do that.
Two days ago, he escaped from the police wagon when it crashed. 8 hours later, a policeman was murdered before the police could recapture him. The police believe Terry Falls did it. After you escaped, did you meet a policewoman?
Yeah, I did. She's the reason I escaped.
So that much is true. He did meet the victim.
But I didn't kill her. She was alive when I left. She was alive. It's true.
I can trust him, right? I mean, I should.
You're not gonna figure out the truth just by staring at the guy.
Why are you here?
I came to see how a little kitten was doing all there in the big scary lion's den. I thought maybe you'd like someone to play with.
Where's Mr. Grossberg?
Ah, that old man's probably still in bed. I bet he's clutching an empty bottle and mumbling in his sleep. Aren't I good enough? After all, it's me, Diego Armando.
I didn't say... So, Diego Armando, finance attorney at Grossberg Law Offices, is here for me.
No, you've got it all wrong. Today, you're the finest. After all, it took an amazing amount of guts to take this case. Imagine, an escaped death row convict for a first client.
Yeah, thanks. Sure wish I could get out of it, though.
Ah, relax. I just heard some good news. The prosecutor for today is fresh out of his diapers as well.
Really?
However, unlike a certain somebody who I won't mention, he's earned the reputation as a genius since beginning his law career.
Genius?
Well, it's about time to head in, kitten. Sharpen those claws of yours. It's go time.
A solitary confinement cell for the condemned must be the world's loneliest place. And that's what my client ran away from. Every other lawyer gave up on him, but not me. When I saw those overflowing eyes and heard that simple childlike voice, I just had the feeling that he was telling the truth.
Oh, it's the Canadian judge again. Okay. Court is now in session for the trial of Terry Falls, eh?
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Oh, look who it is.
The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. I understand the lawyers for both sides are newcomers, eh?
Let's see what we got. Attorney's badge. Valerie's autopsy. Stabbed with a knife. Blood loss between 4 and 5. Terry Falls. Hawthorne. Key witness in the case 5 years ago. Diego Armando, age 27. A hotshot lawyer, senior and rather at the office, a bit smug.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm Mia Fay.
Miles Edgeworth, Your Honor.
It'll show up eventually.
So you're the new prosecutor everyone's talking about, eh? They say you joined the prosecutor's office at quite an early age. At 20, Your Honor.
I guess a little kitten hasn't earned herself as much as a reputation yet, huh?
Come on, Mia, you can't lose. It's someone younger than you.
Young people running a trial. I'm not too sure how I feel about that. Now then, the defendant in the case is certainly a felon on death row. Currently a felon on death row. 2 days ago he escaped from a police wagon. Is that correct, eh? Precisely.
The defendant's not on trial for escaping prison. On the day the defendant escaped, a policewoman was murdered. So we're here to determine if Mr. Falls was responsible.
Fuck it. So we're here to determine if Mr. Falls was responsible for her death?
You got it, kitten.
Well then, Mr. Edgeworth, let's hear your opening statement. Yes, Your Honor. It was 5 years ago. The defendant, Terry Falls, was sentenced to death in this very court. His crimes were kidnapping, extortion, and murder. The girl he threw off the bridge was only 14 years old. Truly horrible crime, I remember it well, eh? There is no decisive evidence that the trial was long and protracted. Correct. But in the end, what would finally decide the case was a certain witness's testimony.
A witness testimony?
The testimony of Detective Valerie Hawthorne, the person who confronted the criminal. She arrested Mr. Falls at the scene and was later testified against him. She said she witnessed Mr. Falls throw the young victim into the river. For those who are not aware, Eagle River is well known for its powerful current. Most bodies that fall in there are never recovered.
I can't help but notice that the younger Miles is using Manfred von Karma's poses. That's interesting. Good character stuff there.
So Miss Hawthorne's testimony is the one that put him away?
The policewoman you just mentioned, that wouldn't be exactly the victim, the same woman who was killed 2 days ago. Police Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne. Ah, I see. The man who was sentenced to death based on her testimony escaped 2 days ago, but only one thing on his mind, to take revenge on the woman who convicted him, eh? Oh, the truth is becoming clear to me now.
Huh?
Yes. It's quite obvious the defendant is guilty.
Wait a minute, that's not right. At least hear the case before you decide on the outcome, Your Honor.
Watch yourself, Miss Fay. I'm not sure I care for your word or choice or your tone of voice. Young people these days simply don't know how to respect their elders.
You're younger than me, you hypocrite.
Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, call your first witness, eh? I called the detective who was in charge of the initial investigation of this case.
Is it Gumshoe? Of course it's Gumshoe.
Witness, state your name and occupation.
Gumshoe. Dick Gumshoe. I'm the homicide detective in charge of the case, sir. I finally got promoted to Detective Division half a year ago.
I don't believe anyone asked you about that.
Hey, man, you got any idea how much work it takes?
What is it?
You're really gorgeous.
Excuse me?
No, seriously, my heart, it's aching for you.
Detective, pull yourself together and try to be professional. Otherwise, I'll write you up on contempt so quick something other than your heart will ache.
Oh, okay, I got it.
Now, Detective, tell us about the incident.
Yes, sir, right away. The victim was Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne, a veteran of the police force. She was stabbed in the back with a knife and died from excessive blood loss.
And that much was what he said in the autopsy report. The court would like to hear more details about the incident itself.
Yes, sir, gotcha. Okay, let's take a look at the aerial map of the area here. There's a sketch of Dusky Bridge, an old suspension bridge. On the river that runs under is Eagle River. The victim, the defendant, met her on top of the bridge. After stabbing her in the back, the killer carried the victim back to his car. He was recaptured at a police checkpoint. He was trying to make his getaway, sir.
I see. Was the victim's blood found on the bridge?
The victim, Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne, was wearing a thick coat, sir. Unfortunately, no trace of blood was found on the bridge.
Mr. Edgeworth, I warn you I absolutely despise conjecture. If there's no blood on the bridge, you have no proof they even met there. Your Honor, if you would listen to the testimony we have prepared, I'm sure you'll be convinced. The two of them most certainly did meet on the bridge that day. Why, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm not sure I like you wagging your finger at me as though I was some hooser. Detective, proceed with your testimony.
Yes, sir.
Here we go, Mia. Hang on.
Okay, now, listen carefully, kitten. One little mistake and this guy will drink you for morning tea. Trust me and get ready. On the day of the incident, an unknown person phoned the sergeant and asked to meet. Sergeant Hawthorne went to Dusty Bridge and was designated time to meet with Mr. Falls. And that's where she was brutally murdered, sir. The criminal stuffed her body into his car trunk and tried to make a getaway. Mr. Falls was arrested at a police checkpoint we set up at the base of the mountain.
You certainly have established the importance of that bridge. Naturally. Now, would the defence please hurry up and proceed with the cross-examination, eh?
Yes, Your Honour. Cross-examination coming right up.
Hey, settle down there, kitten. If you keep trembling like that, you're gonna make me spill my coffee.
I'm not trembling, it's just cold in here.
Do your fucking jacket up, then. The courtroom can be a cold battlefield, all right, especially for a beginner.
I don't need you to worry about me. I mean, the defendant, the witness, everyone's a beginner here.
Ah, you got me there. Maybe you should keep your claws out and show 'em what you've got, kitten.
Okay, Mia, stay calm. Just remember the court procedure videos you stayed up all night watching. This unknown person, you have no idea who it might be, right?
Sorry, but I'm afraid I do.
What?
The one who called Sergeant Hawthorne was the defendant, Terry Falls.
What? The defendant? The defendant called her?
Sergeant Hawthorne was a very thorough person, sir. She left a note about her phone call with Mr. Falls.
A note?
Yeah, top secret memo she left on her desk.
Confidential police materials written by the victim.
According to this note, it said that he's the one who called us at the bridge for the incident. The defendant, Terry Falls.
Who's bribed you to keep that note from me?
Ah, looks like the judge is even more sure of his verdict now. Listen up. Never ask a question you don't already know the answer.
It's the detective's fault. He's the one who said unknown person.
Hey, now, don't make that face at me. I just said it that way because the prosecutor told me to.
Was that a trap? With that cute face, I didn't expect him to be so sneaky.
Falls at 4:30 at that bridge. Wear white scarf for identification. Talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time the whole truth must come out. Who's Dahlia?
A bridge in the mountains? Why meet there?
Because it's a very important place to a defendant, that's why.
What do you mean by that, eh? If you remember 5 years ago, the defendant kidnapped a young girl. He was chased onto the bridge, and it was there that he killed his hostage.
Wait. Dahlia? Hawthorne! Oh, okay, I already see where this is going. Okay.
He was chased onto the bridge, and it was there he killed his hostage. And the place where all this occurred is, of course, Dusky Bridge.
The very place where Sergeant Hawthorne was arrested and handcuffed Mr. Falls. Ah, return to the scene of the crime. How nostalgic. That's where he was brutally murdered, sir.
Was the body of the victim discovered right away?
Yeah, we're really on the ball. We found the criminal within 1 hour of the murder. It was great. We even got to say, "Don't move, we have you surrounded."
Wait a second. Isn't there something weird about that?
The location was a suspension bridge up in the mountains. So how'd they find out about the crime so quickly?
Sergeant Hawthorne must have mentioned the phone call to someone else, right?
Ah, if that's what had happened, she wouldn't have been killed. She never mentioned the phone call from Mr. Falls, but she left a note on her desk about it. If only I noticed it earlier, maybe she'd still be alive.
I wonder why you didn't mention the phone call to anyone. Mr. Falls had a car then?
Well, that bridge is way up in the mountains, man. The defendant and the victim both went up there by car. I mean, how else, right?
What? You mean the defendant drove his own car?
No, of course not. It was stolen. He stole it from a young couple that had been waiting at a red light.
Car thieves. Not sure how I feel about car thieves, eh?
Is this guy sure he knows how to feel about anything?
This is a photo of the stolen car's trunk. Oof. Naturally, that's the body of Valerie Hawthorne in there.
Whoa, that doesn't look too comfortable, eh?
The victim was stabbed in the back, correct?
Yeah. For some reason, men always seem to get stabbed in the back.
We're talking about a woman here.
You can't tell from this photo, but the knife was stuck in her back nice and firm.
The condition of the body when it was discovered is very important information. Detective, was there anything strange or noteworthy in the trunk of the car?
What did the phone have to say about this photo?
What he always says, man.
I didn't do it. I didn't do nothing.
That's all he says.
Nothing. I wouldn't say he did nothing. At least we know he stole a car.
It's just what he always says, Your Honour. And then he always says...
Sorry, I told a little lie.
or something like that.
In any case, it seems he was caught and arrested, eh? Precisely.
Falls was arrested at a police checkpoint.
That's certainly some impressive police work.
Oh no, actually it was way too close for comfort. We set the checkpoint just after 5 PM. But you can think of Mr. Falls might just try and run.
What do you mean it was too close for comfort?
The two of them arranged to meet at 4:30. It takes approximately 30 minutes to go from the bridge to the checkpoint.
Was kind of close. Any later, Mr. Falls could have slipped right by.
Listen up, kitten. There's a big trap waiting for you in that testimony.
A trap?
Walk into it carelessly and they'll leave more than just a flesh wound. Fun, huh?
No, it's not.
Well, if you want to have any chance at all, you better get some more information. And if you're going to get caught in a trap, it's best to get caught early. You can always look for contradictions afterward.
The ever famous contradictions. I sure hope I can find some of those.
Where's her white scarf?
Witness!
What is it? Do you have something to say, Miss Fay?
Sorry, I totally forgot what I was going to say. This is my first time I've actually had to address someone like that.
You should have practiced before coming to court. Honestly, Miss Fay, I'm not sure I like this.
Say there, little kitten, want a piece of my coffee candy?
Candy?
Well, you're still too young to be drinking real coffee.
Oh, come on, Mia, shake it off. You're a lawyer. Detective?
Yes, ma'am.
This photo. You said there was nothing peculiar about it, is that correct?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Then I suggest you take another look at the note written by the victim.
The note?
It very clearly says, wear white scarf for identification. The caller must have forgotten what the victim looked like, thus this special request. I've one very simple question for you, Detective. Where's the white scarf? I can't seem to see it in this photo.
Well, to be honest, we didn't find it in the trunk, ma'am.
And you stopped there? You should have looked for it.
Oh.
The caller told her where to identify herself, or I expect she just did that. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do you have to say about this, eh? I see the defence is a little lacking. The scarf you're searching so desperately for, is this the one, perchance?
Where'd you find that, sir?
On Dusky Bridge. I was there first. I decided to conduct my own investigation.
Why didn't you tell me?
I made the decision to keep all pieces of evidence in my personal satchel. It's the safest place, I know. That hot sauce sure has flair for a dramatic. It's not exactly white as the caller requested, but as you can see, it's close enough what it's intended for. Looks like it spent some time in the mud, eh? Not surprising, it was drizzling on the mountain that day.
Prosecutor Edgeworth. He was intentionally hiding the scarf the whole time.
The courts accept the scarf into evidence. Now, if the attorney for the defense is finished embarrassing herself, I'd like to move on with the testimony. That is all right with you, is it, Miss Fay?
Boy, would I like to wrap this scarf around his smarmy little neck.
Very good. Now, if we're done with this mud-covered scarf business, the prosecution moves to establish conclusively and with hard evidence that Ms. Hawthorne and Mr. Falls did indeed meet on the bridge that day. Further, we will show exactly what occurred there. Sounds quite promising, eh? Can't wait to hear all about it.
Everything is moving at his whim.
Don't forget, kitten, there's a reason why everyone considers this kid a genius.
A genius, huh?
Actually, there's an eyewitness who was there when the incident took place. This photo was accidentally taken by the witness. It shows the Vic wearing the scarf, sir. It was drizzling that day, unfortunately, so it's hard to see what's going on. Anyway, the criminal shoved the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. That must have been when the scarf fell off.
Looking at this photo, you really get the sense that the bridge is high up, eh? It's about a 40-foot drop from the bridge to the Eagle River down below. Mr. Edgeworth, who took this photo anyway, eh? Let's just say it was a well-intentioned third party. Ah, a potential witness. Why isn't this person in the courtroom, eh?
Well, they said they absolutely did not want to testify.
The person in question is very delicate, Your Honour. Besides, as long as we have this photo, there's no reason to compel them to testify.
Oh, I wonder who it could be.
I'm not sure how I feel about that. So, as you can see, Terry Falls had both the motive and the opportunity. I think it's quite clear at this point what happened on that bridge. Oh, the truth's becoming clear to me now.
Huh?
Yeah, it's quite obvious. He's clearly guilty.
Not again, that's not fair! I haven't even done my cross-examination yet!
Huh?
What do you mean, And who was this eyewitness?
She's a college student.
A female college student?
That's right. Meaning she's female and a college student, ma'am. She don't do well in front of our people, so I've come to testify for her.
Maybe so, but as the attorney for the defence, I have the right to cross-examine her.
For the time being, we're not relying on the witness's statements, that is all.
What's that supposed to mean?
The prosecution has other more decisive evidence. Our case doesn't rest on the vague testimony of a female college student. A female college student, eh?
It means she's female and a college student, sir.
If you absolutely must hear her testimony, you'll have to give us a good reason why. Please tell us some more decisive evidence in question.
The victim's wearing a scarf in the photo, alright. So about the witness who took this photo, what was the person doing all the way in the mountains?
She was taking photos of wildflowers, apparently.
There are many unusual types of flora on the mountain, Miss Fay. People in the area say it's because of the spirits that live there. Spirits? Now you mention it, this photo is cloudy and fog-like thing. Is that a ghost? I don't believe it.
No, Your Honour, no, I don't think it's a ghost.
Drizzling, huh?
That's right. There was a light rain coming down. The whole place was dreary. Not so dreary as the moods in this court right now. Looks like a cold front just moved in.
In any case, the point is that the area was quite damp. There was even some fog.
I even slipped and fell while I was on the bridge. It was really sunny.
Is that part of the witness's testimony as well?
Of course it is. He pushed the victim hard and back, and she fell right on her stomach.
I remember that happening once myself. It was really brutal.
Are you talking about seeing someone get pushed, or were you the one getting pushed? Does that mean you pushed someone down like that once? With his mind-boggling tales and the way he says brutal, I wonder if he's Canadian.
Save your nasty look for the right person.
Huh?
Take a look, poor baby.
The court record seems to have wet itself.
Why do you spill your coffee? The court record, huh? In other words, there was a struggle between the criminal and the victim, huh?
That's what the witness said. Well, it looks like she didn't remember about the scarf. And from what she said, it sounded like a pretty violent fight, ma'am.
The area's wet from rain, the bridge was probably wet too. Which would explain why the scarf was all covered in mud, but... is there something about this testimony that's still bothering me?
Talk about a surprise. I had no idea there was a photo.
So what do I do?
You really still believe him, Mr. Crybaby, I mean?
Of course I do.
So the little kitten believes in fairy tales, huh? In that case, the answer's obvious. If what you believe is the truth, then it means that somewhere hidden that testimony is a contradiction. One huge contradiction waiting to be discovered. That's your chance. I'm completely stumped here. I'm not sure what any of this... I think I'm just going to have to bullshit my way through this, you know. Because I'm drawing a complete blank here.
This evidence establishes the defendant is lying, right?
Don't ask me to confirm your facts.
Sorry, it's kind of my first time handling a case.
Well, let's make it a memorable occasion with a penalty, eh?
I knew I thought he'd go easy on me because I'm new. Your Honour, what do you think of the witness's statement?
I don't think anything of it. How about you?
I guess I don't think anything of it either.
Then we don't have a problem, but we do have a penalty.
If there wasn't a problem, couldn't you just let it slide?
Oh, again?
Huh. Alright. At the time of the crime, there was a light drizzle coming down, correct?
Yeah, fog too. Just generally soggy atmosphere.
Well, I have evidence that doesn't go with the soggy atmosphere.
This is a photo of the victim's body found in the car's trunk.
Considering the scene of the scene of the crime, something isn't right.
Is it because she's not muddy?
By all means, perhaps enlighten us what isn't right, eh? What about this photo of the trunk doesn't fit with the conditions that day?
you the answer is right here.
The victim's coat? As far as I can see, there's nothing strange about it.
That's exactly what's strange. Recall the testimony. What were the conditions on the bridge that day? Drizzling and foggy, dusty bridge was all wet. If the victim really had fallen down on her stomach on top of the bridge, why is the front of her coat should have been covered in mud?
That's exactly right. The other day I fell on the muddy street and my gorgeous playoff beard was befouled. I do admit the crime scene was quite wet that day. However, that doesn't mean the top of the bridge itself was muddy. If your honor had fallen in the shower instead of a muddy street, your glorious hockey beard would be the would pride the legal league would be wet but not muddy. Fortunately, I've yet to test that. Still, your point is well taken, eh? Can you prove the surface of the bridge was muddy that day?
Surface of the bridge, huh?
Ah, a real man wouldn't stand for a taunt like that.
And neither would a real woman. Of course I can. Here's the evidence that proves the surface of the bridge was muddy.
Way to dig your own grave, Edgeworth.
The evidence is this scarf.
Ah,
It should be obvious. If the scarf fell on the bridge and got this muddy, it means the bridge was covered in mud.
Oh. No, I can't be outwitted by this novice bimbo.
Same to you, buddy.
Miss Fay's assertion makes perfect sense to me, eh? I do admit there appears to be a contradiction between the condition of the victim's coat and her scarf. However, the real question is, why are there contradictions?
Huh?
For every contradiction, there exists an explanation. Let's look at the explanation in this case may be, shall we?
Alright. Not like he's giving me a choice.
ah. You're doing pretty well for a little kitten.
Mr. Armando.
No matter what he says, a contradiction always comes down to a lie. Either the victim discovered in the trunk, the witness photo showing the defendant and the victim, or the witness testimony that stated she saw the moment of the murder. Just relax and think it over. It's pretty simple, isn't it? False evidence, it's one of those three.
What you just said just now, I'm not sure I like that.
I can't keep up his fucking accent. I'm not the best at Canadian. That wasn't me, Your Honor. That was the coffee aficionado over there that said it.
The court is not in the habit of accepting false evidence, you know.
Blame it on him, Your Honor. He's the one trying to slip false evidence into court. But we won't let him. What exposes evidence is the flimsy scam it really is.
Yeah. The false evidence in this case is testimony. It's a no-brainer. It's obviously the witness that's suspicious. During his earlier testimony, the detective pointed out a crucial fact. The criminal shoved the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. Now, this is the testimony exactly what the witness claims to have seen?
Yeah, that's what the witness told us.
That testimony is filled with holes. After all, the victim's coat isn't dirty at all.
That's true. It's not just true, it's the truth. If there was a truly decisive witness in this case, I'm certain the boy wonder over there would have called them in the first place.
Your Honor, the defense requests to cross-examine the eyewitness. The testimony presented so far is not only vague, but contradictory as well.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, It appears we'll need to hear from your mystery witness after all, eh? Oh, you should brace yourself for the brutal truth. Your Honour, the prosecution has no intention of hiding the witness from the court. We're prepared to present our witness at any time. Very well. Please bring forth your witness at this time, eh?
What Mr. Edgeworth said kind of worries me. What does he mean by the brutal truth?